Hey creatures, I'm Harold, and welcome to the Alchemy Lab. And today we're going to be talking about my personal favorite top 5 DC superheroes. Remember folks, to like and subscribe, and remember, leave a comment and include your own top 5 DC superheroes. And also let us know of any top 5 lists you would like us to do in the future. First appearing in Strange Adventures number 180, Dave Wood and Carmine Infanto came up with Buddy Baker, Animal Man. His base powers is that he gains the powers of animals. So he can be like, oh, I choose Hawk, and then he can fly. Or I choose Groundhog, and then he can dig real fast. Or I have the strength of a rhinoceros, and then he can, he's just that strong animal. He doesn't turn into the animals. His body just has those abilities. It's a little strange, but that's not the strength of this character. What he really is a family man. Throughout his years, he has been depicted as a working hero, using his powers to support his family. When the New 52 rolled around and the introduction of the Red, his family took center stage, and it is revealed that the Red is the source of the animal powers that they get. The Green is plant life, and then there's the Rot, which is a little obvious. It's just decay and death. Rarely does he get his own book. He's usually a sideline Justice League character, but I would recommend the New 52 run and the Grant Morrison. I think he's got a shot or two there, here and there in the Justice League Unlimited series, and I don't think we've seen him at all in live action, which I'm hoping they'll change. James Gunn is definitely the type of person that would gravitate towards a Buddy Baker type character and his family unit. Making number 4 on our top 5 DC Marvel superheroes is gonna be the infamous, the powerful, the Swamp Thing. First created in 1971 for House of Secrets number 92 by Len Wein and Bernie Wrightstone. The Swamp Thing is what you would call an elemental, or a plant elemental. He's kind of a living sentient being that has full access to any plant life across the planet, making him incredibly powerful. He can instantly grow any plants to sneak up on you or listen in on you or whatever. He's basically omnipresent as long as he's on Earth. This is an essential character to the DC universe. Len Wein's run and Alan Moore's run are essential reading. There have been a couple of versions of Swamp Thing, but the story kind of remains the same. A scientist gets dumped into a swamp with perhaps chemicals and then turns into the Swamp Thing. Alan Moore put a little bit of a twist on it that most creators have ran with since, and that's the Swamp Thing is a plant that thinks it's alcoholic, which does make a significant difference when you think about it. And that's the cool thing about Swamp Thing, is he's always talking about human nature and its connection to nature. An interesting philosophical type character. Earlier we mentioned the Red, Animal Man. Well, now we have Green with Swamp Thing. Like Luke has the Force in Star Wars, Swamp Thing has the Green in DC Comics. This is an elemental power that people can access, and the Swamp Thing is the Avatar, and he always wields it with swift justice. The Swamp Thing is not someone to be trifled with. If he doesn't like you, he will destroy you quickly and efficiently. One of the scarier things about when Swamp Thing shows up. In his own book, he's very, what am I? Who am I? What are you? And then when he shows up in Justice League, everyone goes, oh God, Swamp Thing's here. Everyone's about to die, which is kind of fun. Some say 3 is a holy number. And here at number 3, we have the Phantom Stranger, the third of our top 5 DC heroes. This is a very underused character, which is kind of to his benefit and leads to his legacy. Very little is known about this character, who is extremely powerful. Think of Doctor Strange do a Kaioken times 10, and then you get the Phantom Stranger. First appearing in his own issue in 1952, created by John Broome and Carmine Infantino. Again, cool guy. He's kind of like the Shadow, where stories are told around him, and he is kind of like the arbiter of justice. Or he's the one that shows up on the Justice League's doorstep and is like, hey guys, magic's about to create chaos on this realm of existence, so you might want to get on that. Thanks, Phantom Stranger. How are we supposed to get started? Matt, I don't know. Don't you have Zatanna or something? Well, yeah, but you're magic too. Can't you help? No. I show up at the first issue of the event, and then I show up at the last issue of the event. That's how it works. I'm the Phantom Stranger. Well, can't you just be on the team the whole time? And then I wouldn't be a phantom. Okay. All right. Bye, Phantom Stranger. We'll see you in issue 6, I guess. All right. Back to the crisis, guys. Phantom Stranger is taking an L. He's taking a knee. He said he'll be back in the 6th issue, which, things are usually wrapped up by then. Don't you tell him, Batman. I don't care. The Phantom Stranger has had one live-action series appearance, and that was on the Swamp Thing CW show, which was a fantastic season of Swamp Thing. And I'm hoping that maybe once Zatanna shows up in the DCU, there's a chance for the Phantom Stranger. Fingers crossed. So who's number 2? Well, he's a classic, and that's gonna be the Superman. Superman needs no introduction. He is world-renowned, and for good reason. His story is extremely relatable, inspires hope in as many people as he interacts with. For years, I've definitely enjoyed all the different movies, the animated series, the brand new animated series, and the new movie. Kind of grew up on Lois and Clark, The Adventures of Superman, but that wasn't great. And I've never really sat down and watched Smallville all the way through. Leave a comment about how mad that makes you. And even in the comic books, Superman is a fun character to read. I like the zany science fiction aspects of the character. And without Superman, you don't get some of my favorite villains. That would be like Brainiac and one of my top faves, Superboy Prime. And you could throw Darkseid in there as well, even though Kirby invented Darkseid, independent of Superman ever being a concept. They were kind of mixed together later. But Superboy Prime, he's wearing that S on his chest for a reason. And also check out the series My Adventures of Superman. I've been quite enjoying that recently, and I'm hoping it gets another season. So who could be our top fave here in the Alchemy Lab? Well, there's a clue in the screen already, and that's going to be Green Lantern. Number 1. And not just any Green Lantern. The kind of moniker of Green Lantern. So let's break it down. The first Green Lantern was Alan Scott, created by the legendary Bill Finger in All American Comics number 16. Alan Scott is a very different type of Green Lantern and isn't really connected to the next ones we will talk about. So he's kind of on his own. But the concept is somewhat similar. Using his own willpower, he is able to create constructs and force fields and anything he really wants to by the power of his own will. Donning the moniker of Green Lantern, he then tries to fight injustice on the planet Earth. Then, in 1959, John Broome, remember him, and Gil Kane took Green Lantern and turning him into an intergalactic superhero. They later added characters like John Stewart, the Green Lantern Corps, and some of my personal faves like Soranik Natu, Jessica Cruz, Kilowog. I'm also a big Chip fan, wear my Chips hat, and even Nort, even though he's largely forgotten. He shows up here and there, but quite a few Green Lantern stories have changed the landscape of the DC universe. The invention of Parallax after the reign of Superman. Then there was Final Night. Then there was the Jeff Johns trilogy. I like to call it the Jeff Johns trilogy. There's Green Lantern Rebirth, the Sinestro Corps War, and then the Blackest Night. The animated series is an acquired taste, but now with the new books coming out, seem to be required watching now. Looks like almost all of that's canon at some point. But what's really great about the Lantern Corps, especially with the Jeff Johns run, that really opened the emotional spectrum, is that there's a ton of characters that you can choose to follow along in this huge space opera. There is a lot going on in this side of the DC universe. And that's why he's got to be my number 1 superhero. Or superhero concept. Maybe that's why I'm drawn to it. But now that's our top 5 list. Be sure to leave a comment below and include your own top 5 lists. I'm Harold here in the Alchemy Lab. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time, creatures. Wah!